Hello and welcome to WHSH TV. I'm Claire Guthrie and with me is Stephen Mason.
We welcome you to our second week of WHSH TV News. It's been another busy week and we have a lot to cover.
Coming up for you on today's show, we will talk with Chairman of the Indiana Broadcasters Association to hear what he has to say about an important bill making its way through the state government.
Also, you'll hear about some important issues facing school corporations when it comes to fighting a substitute teacher shortage.
All that and more, including sports. It's Friday, February 5th, and you're watching WHSH TV. Welcome to WHSH TV. We've got a lot to cover this week, so let's get right to it. Our first story may be one that many of you have never heard about, and one local business owner thinks that it is a problem. The story in question deals with Indiana House Bill 1019. What is Indiana House Bill 1019, you ask? It's a bill set forth by the Indiana House of Representatives that would keep police body camera footage from being made public, which includes the media. Dave Crooks, owner of WAMW Radio and chairman of the Indiana Broadcasters Association, agreed to talk to us about the bill.
House Bill 1019 is a piece of legislation that's been authored by Representative Kevin Mahan of Hartford City, Indiana. He is a Republican in the Indiana General Assembly. He is a former sheriff of that particular county, Blackford County, and I've talked to the bill sponsor a few weeks ago about this bill. He believes that there needs to be some type of standard when it comes to the storage as well as the release of video from police body cams and dash cams. We believe, though, that his bill goes against the spirit of the public record law in our state. We think he's written this bill from the perspective of a sheriff. And if you look at the way the bill is written, it gives that top law official, whether it's at a county, for example, the sheriff or a police chief in a city, to come up with their own policy on how those videos will be released.
House Bill 1019 passed through the Indiana House of Representatives on January 26th of this year with 65 votes in favor and 30 against. Voters were absent and 2 chose not to vote.
Type of legislation, some have passed it. I've been told as many as 10 states out of 50 so far have moved some kind of language through their state general assemblies to try to address this. We think this is pretty far overreaching, though, when it comes to the public's right to know. We haven't seen the perfect legislation anywhere in the country right now that we'd like to model Indiana's after. So this is a pretty new concept, obviously. The way we interpret the bill right now, since that decision making is done by the police chief or the sheriff, we believe, as the media in the state of Indiana, that the police department will be able to pick and choose what is released. We just simply believe that one person in that department shouldn't have the ultimate control of who gets to see video and who doesn't.
Lawmakers in at least 15 other states have introduced similar bills to exempt video recordings of police encounters with citizens from state public records or to limit what can be made public.
And again, the media is not wanting every video that's ever recorded. I mean, we're just trying to protect the public's interest when there's a high-profile case and there's inconsistencies in the police version of the story. We want to be able to get access to that video to make sure that what they're telling the public is absolutely the truth. The thing about police body cams, we believe, is that the behavior does change once they know they're being recorded. Not just the police officer, but even the individual that a police officer may be talking to, or if they've pulled over a person. Once they realize that there's rolling video, both people involved at times in the video tend to be extra careful with what they say and what they do. So I would tend to believe that it would reduce violent cases, whether it's the person being violent to the police officer, or if it's a situation in a very, very rare case where a policeman may use excessive force that's not necessary. I mean, we're not against our police in uniform. We think they do a great job day in and day out protecting our communities, and we think this is a valuable tool. But we want the right to review videos at times if there's inconsistencies and if there's something so high profile that the public needs to know more about what exactly happened.
The bill still needs to make it through the Senate to become law. The timeline to be passed or rejected is unknown at this time. Residents concerned about the bill should contact their local state representative or senator. Another important story Indiana residents need to know about deals with substitute teachers. Indiana is suffering from a shortage of substitute teachers, but this isn't just a hometown problem. The lack of substitute teachers has spread to many other states across the country. WHSH TV sat down with one person at Washington High School who deals firsthand with substitute teachers. Miss Holly Payton works in the main office of the high school, and here is what she has to say about the issue.
Good substitute teacher, first of all, you need to like children. You have to have patience with them. You have to be reliable. I have to count on you to be there when you say you would be. You need to be flexible and have a good sense of humor. In the Washington Community Schools in Indiana, you need a high school diploma. According to Frontline.com, part of the reason is we've had an economic improvement and we have lower job unemployment rate. You can go online to the WashingtonCommunitySchools.com and print off an application. The application needs to be returned to the superintendent's office along with a resume, and they'll set up an appointment for an interview. All of our applicants are working with children, so therefore they have to have background checks.
Holly sure did her research. If you or anyone you know has ever thought about substituting, now would be a great time to apply. As Holly said, you don't need much experience except for a high school diploma and a clean background check. Here at WHS, we have definitely noticed the substitute shortage. When you don't have a sub for your class, the class is typically sent to another classroom, making it more stressful on teachers and us students. Again, if you would like to apply for a substitute teaching position, you can go to WashingtonCommunitySchools.org and print out an application. From some very important statewide news to some local national pastime fun, Senior League Baseball, which is the highest level of Little League, used to be offered to 13 to 15-year-old boys at Allen Field in Washington. Over the years, demand had fallen and the program was eventually halted. Now, 7 seasons later, new demand for the league has led to recent strives to bring back Senior League to Allen Field. WHSH TV recently had the opportunity to speak with Byron Holtzclaw, organizer of the league, to hear about the league.
Senior League is the oldest division of Little League, and currently we offer Little League from 4 years of age to 12 years of age. Traditionally, Allen Field's been the site of Washington Senior League, and Coach Reed and his staff have to use Allen Field for practices. As you know, there's only so much daylight in a day, so while the varsity Hatchets practice at Allen Field, at the sports complex, Allen Field is utilized by the JV as well as the 7th and 8th grade teams. This would be a cooperative effort that Little League assume the responsibilities of caring for the field so that not only Senior League can play there in June and July, but that the Hatchets could have a practice facility. There's much needed renovations at Allen Field. This year we need to address issues with the bathrooms, and we can always accept donations to Little League, whether they be donations monetarily or gift in kind if construction crews, plumbers, etc. would like to donate anything. Well, Senior League would start in June and July and run throughout the summer months. After the Hatchets are done playing ball, hopefully they have a deep drive in the tournament this year, but after they're done with that, 13, 14, 15-year-olds would be welcome to start playing at Allen Field in June. Well, we are very excited about the coming season. Certainly the warm weather gets us excited about playing baseball.
If you or anyone you know is interested in joining or learning more about the league, Byron can be contacted at 812-890-3840. Coming up after the break, we'll have
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
We're back, and this is WHSH, and I'm Stephen Mason, and we're looking at this weekend's weather, and I think that it's going to be a great weekend to get out and really have a great outside experience. You can see that we're going to be having high 50s and low 50s weather, and that's great outside weather for this time of the year. It's very unseasonably mild, and I think that's going to be just a great time for anybody who wants to either get yard work done, take a walk in the park, have a family function outdoors, and it's just going to be great for anybody involved. So I think that this weather is going to be a great one.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Welcome back to WHSH TV. Spring is just around the corner, and for many of you, that means spring cleaning, home repairs, and more. The second annual Daviess County Chamber of Commerce and WAMW Business Home and Lifestyle Expo is set for tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Washington Conservation Club. The expo is free and open to the public. For those of you looking to tickle your funny bone, or those of you wanting a fresh pre-Valentine's Day date, the Washington Catholic High School junior class is sponsoring a comedy show next Friday at the Knights of Columbus on Main Street in Washington. One of the event organizers, Melina Stone, shared details with us about the event.
The Cardinal Comedy Club takes place February 12th. It will be at the KFC, Knights of Columbus. It is downtown on Main Street. There is one show at 7 and one at 9. Scott Long is our headliner, and Mitchell Potts is our opening act. $15 in advance, $20 at the door. You can purchase your tickets at the parish office, a junior class representative, or here at Hands Termite and Pest Control. Yes, there is. You must be 21 to be able to go. Also, the KFC is offering a Valentine dinner, either 2 ribeyes, or you can get a ribeye salmon, 2 salmons, and it's just making it more of a Valentine night.
Comedian Scott Long recently spoke with WAMW about how he makes each show unique to the audience.
Hey, it's going to be really a special night, and I think people are going to have a great time. I'm pretty interactive with the audience. I don't pick on the audience. I just kind of try to create, I call it a comedy circus, where there's some kind of memorable moments that will come out of just your local people saying something about their lives and me kind of taking it from there.
A big event taking place this Sunday has everyone excited. Of course, I'm talking about the Super Bowl. This Sunday, the Denver Broncos take on the Cardinal Panthers in the Super Bowl 50. The 50th Super Bowl this Sunday. The 50th Super Bowl has everyone excited, and not just for the big game. A lot of people watch for the commercials. The cost of a 30-second TV commercial for the first Super Bowl back in 1967 cost $37,500. Compare that to last year's Super Bowl 49, where one ad cost a record-breaking $4.5 million. Advertisements are not the only thing making big bucks on Sunday. Snacks also rake in the dough. Super Bowl Sunday is the biggest snacking day of the year, and one group has some impressive numbers. The National Chicken Council estimates that Americans will consume as many as 1.3 billion chicken wings this year. To give you an idea of how many chicken wings that is, 1.3 billion wings is enough to stretch from the Panthers Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, to the Broncos Stadium in Denver 53 times. That number is up from last year's wing consumption of 1.25 billion. With all of the excitement around this year's big game, we took to the halls for this week's hallway beat to find out which team Washington high school students think will take home the win.
The Carolina Panthers, 35-21.
I think the Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl.
What's the score?
I'm saying 49-27.
Panthers, 31-24.
I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. Final score 28-24.
I have the Panthers winning 28-21.
I'm going to have to say the Broncos are going to beat the Panthers probably 28-21.
Stay tuned after the break for a look at Hatchet Sports and some Cincinnati Reds news. You're watching WHSH TV.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Austin Enos with this week's Sports Wrap-Up. Recently, this past Tuesday, the Lady Hatchets faced off against the number 1 ranked Princeton Tigers in the sectional matchup. The Lady Hatchets lost 29-9, and the Lady Hatchets ended their season 17-6. Very good job to Lady Hatchets on a great season. Also, the Hatchet boys played Vincennes Lincoln last night in a conference matchup that came down to the wire, but they ended up losing 35-33. That loss moves the Hatchets to 13-4 in the season, and the next game is this Friday. You'll see it on WHSH against Bloomfield at the Hatchet House. Last week, but now on to national sports news, the National League Baseball, that is. Last week, I had the opportunity to interview some of the members of the Reds organization, the Cincinnati Reds, that is, at the Reds Caravan that passed through town. I sat down with some of the Cincinnati players and the Reds manager, Brian Price, to ask about what advice he would give to young athletes and about his all-time favorite clubhouse pranks.
I believe that that sport through high school especially is seasonal. I feel like that there's advantages to playing basketball before baseball season, or playing football, or I know soccer sometimes crosses over with baseball, but running track, whatever it may be, there's got to be things that allow you to become an even better athlete. And the other part is that a lot of times it's not defined until you're late in your high school career before you really understand what your best sport is. I was actually a minor league coach in the Seattle Mariner organization, but I was in major league camp with just helping out as an assistant pitching guy. And Lou Piniella had a small office just off of the main clubhouse in Peoria, Arizona, the Mariners spring training site. And before he had got to the ballpark, Jay Buhner and Ken Griffey Jr. had brought a huge cow and led it into Lou's office and closed the door behind it. So when Lou entered the office, the only thing that was in there really was this huge, massive cow and his desk. And they had it all on film. They made sure that there was somebody there to film it when he came in, and his expression was priceless.
I also had the chance to catch up a little bit with the Reds Hall of Famer and World Series champion, Tom Browning, this past week. I asked Tom Browning about his favorite memory as a player and the legacy that he wanted to leave behind.
I think the perfect game is probably my best individual effort, but I certainly couldn't have done it by myself. But I probably cherish the 1990 season and the World Championship that we got probably more than anything else I did in my career, because it's a team game, and I think as a kid growing up, you dream of being in a World Series, you dream of being able to do something special in the World Series, but more than anything else, it's getting to the World Series. And we were able to win a championship there against a pretty formidable team in the Oakland A's, but we certainly had better pitching, and certainly, like I said, I probably relish that more than anything else in my career. Okay, well, I always want to be remembered as a good team player. Because I was a good player. I pulled from my teammates when I wasn't pitching, and on the day that I pitched, I didn't really say much. I just went out there and tried to do my job. But just a guy that was reliable, a guy that showed up every fifth day to make his start and go out there and give us a chance to win. But really, all in all, I relish the fact that I consider myself a really good teammate.
I had a great time interviewing these guys and the rest of the Reds Caravan crew. If you want to watch the rest of the interview, you can find the Reds videos and more on our YouTube channel on WHSH Broadcasting. Coming up this Sunday is the Super Bowl. Personally, I think that the Carolina Panthers will win 31-24 against the Broncos. Who do you got? But I'm Austin Enos, and that was this week's Sports Wrap-Up.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to WHSH TV. Usually we would end our newscast with a longer look at your weather, and we will, but first we wanted to tell you about a recent visitor.
That's right. Jesse Walker came to visit us at the WHSH studio, and he talked about his career that spanned nearly 30 years in professional weather broadcasting. During his visit, Mr. Walker talked about his experiences in the industry and how his career began nearly 30 years ago for the WHS studios. And now for the weather. As you can see, we have a bit of a high weather system, in the southern United States. So if you're planning on traveling to the southern United States for sort of a get-together with family, you will be able to see sunny skies all throughout the weekend. And as I was saying, with a high pressure system, we also have one coming in our area across the Midwest, and we have quite a big snow system coming all throughout the northern United States, as you can see in the Minnesota and Wisconsin area, and that's going to hit us about Monday and Tuesday. And as you can see over there in California, it's just a great weather pattern for the Super Bowl. So you can guarantee that that's going to be just ideal conditions for the big game on Sunday. And looking over on the eastern seaboard here, we can have a bit of a visual of what it's like over there. And you can see that it's like the northern United States in that it's got a lot of rain and snow, and it's kind of crummy over there. So if you have plans on traveling there for a business trip or a family get-together, you're probably going to want to pack hard and bring an umbrella. So that's the weather for WHSH. Oh, for local weather this weekend, again, you can see highs and pretty good lows for this season. So you'll have a great weekend, and for next week, you can see the weather returning to normal for February. And we'll see some snow coming in, as I said, and it'll be pretty much just normal February weather. So that's the rest of the forecast for WHSH as we send it over to Clara.
Look for seasonal temps tonight and pleasant weather. Thanks, Stephen, and happy Weather Person Day. Be sure to join us next Friday for more WHSH TV. For all of us here, I'm Clara Guthrie. Thanks for watching.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, My dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.